will work with both men and women.
Absolutely, absolutely. But according to our research team, the immediate need are ex-offending women, because there are 1,572 women exiting the prison system as we speak. And that's just in a radius of 6 zip codes.
Wow.
You know, and so those are 1,500 women who don't have a job. Many of them don't have any marketable skills. Many of them don't have life skills training. They're just what we call jail trained.
So how can multiple options help them?
Well, what we provide life skills services, computer literacy, social services, HIV/AIDS counseling, money management. We do job coaching. We prepare them to go out and get those jobs. We create a scenario where I'm the employer and they're the person that has to come out and get that job. And we coach them on what to say, the posture, the eye contact. I mean, we cover the smallest detail all the way up to the biggest.
And I know that you have a website. I found it helpful as I was looking at that. Why don't you give us the web address?
It's www.multipleoptions.org.
And Mr. Bridges, would you tell us a little bit what the website is?
Just to go through what Mr. McMorris say, we aim to do a lot of these things through collaborative partnerships that we have with various organizations, say Labor Ready, who when we do give them job skills and prepare them for working, they can go to the organization and say, hey, we will help you. You know, already it's good to have something waiting for you at the end of your training. A lot of times they go through these programs and that's all they've been and done is went through a program and there's nothing for them to pass through to the next step. And see, that's what we're trying to do, be the mediator, that stepping stone from what used to be to a new way of being socially acceptable through life skills and social skills and all those things that we're trying to use to better prepare them to be citizens of, but better citizens, you know.
Please continue to pray for Willie McMorris and Ronald Goodrich as they work for the Lord in this area where it's so critically needed. Continue to hold them up in your daily prayers. And if you're doing the work for the Lord, would like to share it with the community through the Here's Help Network, feel free to write me, Larry Rice, at P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, at 63166. How I thank God for those that are standing up and being counted at this time, reaching out through the love of Jesus Christ.
And I understand that Multiple Options is developing relationships with other organizations or agencies to help people. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, we're reaching out to any organization that want to help, and we're reaching out to volunteers. We need a lot of those, you know, and we need some contributors too. But we are working with Queen of Peace. We're working with New Beginnings. We're with the Community Action Team, with Gateway Foundation and New Alliance Construction Company. Speaking of which, some of the people that don't have the necessary tools to work in construction, well, we have united with New Alliance, where they will train you, where they will certify you, and they will put you to work in the community to do some of the construction needed in the communities.
Right. And I understand that in your career you have experience working in corrections?
Yes, 20 years.
Wow. In fact, if I may bring in a little bit of personal insight into this, I think you first made contact with Reverend Larry Rice, our director, and our ministry through his time when
hard
he was
deal.
in jail
It's a hard deal.
here in St. Louis at the Justice Center. And so you are an employee there, I understand.
Yes, I'm a lieutenant there.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And that's how you met him, and you developed a relationship there, and now he's invited you to come and to share your vision of what you want to do beyond just that particular job. I know you help people in that too, but beyond that, with multiple options as an organization to help people. Share with us a little bit what you see as would you like to see happen more in the future as your organization grows and develops. What are some of the things you want to start that maybe aren't actually in place yet?
Well, it's actually a vision that has been captured by many, but I would like to see it expanded, and that's to see people working to expand our centers. You know, I mean, we're located 4144 Lindell Boulevard, but we want to expand. We want to have satellite stations. I'm even collaborating with some people in Texas who's really latching on to what we're trying to do, and they asked us to send them a business plan, and they're getting with their civic leaders, and they're trying to put some things in place, and I'm going to fly out there and I'm going to meet with them, and you know, I like to see these type of things all over the United States, because we have people in need all over the United States.
And I also understand that both of you have some experience in the field of mental health. I know that is very vital and important in a work like this.
Yeah, I like to speak on that.
Sure.
27 years in the Department of Mental Health, and I've worked with Mr. McMorris even in the capacity while I was with the Department of Mental Health. I'm retired now, but a lot of what I did was working with individuals, job coaching them. You see individuals out in Snooks and the various restaurants that need training to acclimate them to a job that company will actually hire them. But what I had to do was go in and train them and get them prepared to lead them, that job could, they could work that job on their own without really a job coach. That particular employer would be their employer now instead of the state, So a lot of what I was doing was job coaching and dealing with the Department of Labor, making sure that their wages were appropriate for the work that they were doing, sheltered workshops. So I have a lot of training in the job aspect of working with people with mental health issues. So it's interesting work, and I think that's where a lot of our passion comes from. We care about people. We like seeing those results. You heard the story, teach a man to fish, he can fish forever. Don't just give him fish. So that's kind of our, way we want to do things. We want to prepare people to do things on their own. So.
Right. To develop sustainability.
Yeah. Yes. And I think it's important that our viewers understand the scope of the need. We've been talking on an individual basis, but there are so many people in our correctional system right now. I picked this out as an excerpt from your website, and I'd like to read this at this time. It says, Missouri's prison system is bursting at the seams, growing from 6,000 to 30,000 in the last 30 years, with the state budget for corrections growing from 122 million to more than 665 million. In a move to improve the state's public safety system, political leaders from both sides of the aisle are working with the Justice to Reinvestment Initiative to reduce the state's prison population and to devote more resources toward the more serious offenders. Upon release, the majority of the highest risk persons make their way into the St. Louis community. Just like it seems like with the homeless, so they seem to end up here by default because other places aren't doing that much for them. But anyway, that's another subject. Here on the outside, they face the greatest odds with the fewest resources devoted to their transition. Multiple options is ready to go to work with diligence and a firm command of the tasks ahead, and in turn to preserve state resources as well as increase the safety of the community at large. And that's, I think, a very significant statement that when they come on the outside, that's when they have the greatest odds against them, but also there's the fewest resources in place. I mean, there's a lot of resources that go into staffing the prisons, but when they get outside, there's very little resources there to help them, and that's where multiple options comes in to play that role in helping people to transition and make that, as you said, that re-entry.
Yes, because when most of them get out, like I alluded to, once they get out and they go back home, well, there's somebody who's had to take care of their kids, you know, and they've had the financial burden of taking care of their kids a lot without state assistance. So when these individuals return from the prison system, first thing, people who's been taking care of their families or their children, they're going to say, well, take your kids, raise them, you know. So now you have burden of custodial children and trying to get your life together.
You know, I can see how it is an extra challenge for the moms, for the women.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The women, they face bigger challenges. They really do. And I mean, without organizations like this, without organizations like Multiple Options, their options are limited and few. You know, and if they can't take care of themselves, well, they certainly can't take care of their kids. So then they find themselves back on the streets, find themselves by the wayside, finding themselves back in the criminal element, and to the chagrin of the community, they're developing more victims of crime.
And that leads to the term recidivism.
Right.
And I know that that's an important concept that you know, your materials talk about that too, that when there's a program in place such as Multiple Options, the recidivism rate is lower. Explain what that means, would you?
Well, when you prepare people, or when you guide them, and when you provide options for them, then they concentrate more on elevating themselves. They concentrate more on succeeding. They concentrate more on providing for their children. So that means they don't go back to jail. Recidivism is people that come from jail and return back to prison. But when they are involved in programs such as this, the recidivism rate goes down tremendously because they are vital parts of the community. They are becoming productive citizens. They're back in the workforce. They're back paying taxes. They're bringing dollars back into the community because guess what they're doing? They are purchasing apartments. They are buying groceries. They're buying clothes. You know, all the things they're putting back into the community.
Exactly. And we're really grateful that the Lord is raising up this organization of Multiple Options. And then here we at New Life Evangelistic Center, I know we really hope to partner together with you, because many of the same people that you will be serving, you are serving, are a lot of the same people that we also serve. And maybe if your organization can really help them successfully, they may not even end up in our shelter.
Absolutely.
So we really are grateful for your organization. And once again, if anybody wants to find out more about Multiple Options Incorporated, you can reach them on their website at www.multipleoptions, spell out the word multipleoptions.org. And there's also a link there where they can donate too. I noticed that.
Please don't be allergic to that.
Well, God bless you. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for coming and sharing this with us today, and we look forward to an ongoing relationship with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you as well. We appreciate the work that you all do as well.